I know that we're aligned on, the Rittenhouse thing. What did you think about the Rittenhouse scandal, or the drama of the weekend, Robert?
So Kyle, all Kyle did, he lives in Texas. Texas is not going to be a close state, so his vote, he could probably make more noise with his vote by it not being for Trump. Frankly, in that context, is that he said that because he was concerned that Trump was sporadic on the Second Amendment in his first term, that he was going to write in Ron Paul as a way to incentivize Trump to be better in his second term. Now, and all these people that, some of them people funded his defense and the rest, apparently decided that they were entitled to control him for the rest of his life. And were publicly saying, all mad and enraged and climbing the walls. And it's like, well, he has a conscientious choice to make whatever choice he wants. If you think his choice is wrong, persuade him. And just saying, hey, you can't let Harris win, the lesser of two evil argument. I've never found a persuasive argument. Make an argument on specific policies as with Trump, we'll get this, and this. Without Trump, we'll get this, and this, and this. And that's why it's better. Instead, it was just mass demonization of him. Now, of course, he talked to some Trump people, and a day later, he retracted all that, said I'm fully on board backing Trump. Now, some of this is one of the people he works with currently is someone who's been a very good Second Amendment advocate, but has never liked Trump. He's a harsh critic of Trump. So I think some of this may have reflected the influence of that individual who's honestly obsessed. Like, the problem with the criticism of Trump is so much of it comes from either people that got TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, or people that are so obsessively anti-Trump that you can't take credible their criticism. And it doesn't come across as constructive criticism. It comes across as crazy criticism. And one of these people that Kyle works with, I think, is way over the top in his obsessive Trump hatred. But that probably may have bled into some of Kyle's understanding of some of the issues. But the reason I supported him, the reason I assume most donors supported him and people in the public supported him, is because he was a kid they were trying to put in prison for asserting his self-defense rights.
It's because he was innocent, not because you were going to agree with his...
You didn't by donating to defending his innocence. They're trying to railroad a poor kid into prison to steal our self-defense rights. You didn't earn an entitlement to control his voice for the rest of his life, or the obligation. People sometimes get me confused with that. They think that, okay, I've contributed, someone's contributed something, or they're a member of our board or something else, or they super chat in, and they think suddenly I'm obligated to whatever viewpoint they have. That's not how this works. And so Kyle's a sweetheart of a kid trying to figure everything out. And along the way, we'll make all kinds of mistakes and miscues, just the nature of the animal, trying to figure out how to lend his voice to the court of public opinion now that he's become a public figure. But he's just a kid. And the way people handled it, I just found irresponsible from older adults. That if you disagree with him, engage in a constructive way. Make a constructive argument. Don't make a destructive argument. It's like some people who come at me for being ever nice for saying good words about Robert Kennedy, because he's a good man with good ideas. That's why. And Nicole Shanahan is doing better work for raw milk than anybody in Trump world. Oh, thank you.
I want to pull up what was an actual fake Trump reply to Rittenhouse, which so it's so good just to be like a little bit skeptical and not fall for stupidity. But I'm sitting here talking with my wife. She's like, he's 21 years old. Lord knows if he's had a father figure, an older brother, someone to bounce off ideas with, so that you don't, as a kid, go out and do stupid tactical things. And he's 21, and not that he's like undeveloped. This is like, you learn from mistakes, and there are better ways to make the point he was trying to make. And the mob, and I don't want to say the mob because I don't think it was everybody. There's just big names and big accounts jumping down his throat. And then when he does come around, it looks like he didn't come around for authentic reasons. It looks like he came around because he's catering to the mob, which is
I get people to think it's Trump or die. I get that, but make positive arguments for your position. that's a more persuasive mechanism than negative arguments. That, the negative arguments, it's like people that, oh, you can't say anything nice about Kennedy because then somebody might vote for Kennedy and then Trump's going to lose and then the world's going to end. Okay. All right. I get it to a degree. But, make the argument as to why Trump will make the difference on the issue that matters to whoever that voting group is.
Well,
Negative arguments generally don't work in that context, from my experience. And I think they're just less persuasive than the other. They made a lot of Trump voters look cultish. That's what it did. You're willing to denounce a kid who was almost imprisoned to the victimization of the rest of us and loss of self-defense rights because he doesn't because he said he wasn't going to vote for your favorite candidate, and you're willing to demonize him overnight. It wasn't just criticism, demonize him. That makes you look bad. Doesn't make Kyle Rittenhouse look bad. It makes you look bad.
Cancel and block. What I love is I don't want to pick on any.
But chill, bro.
I agree.
Dance or something.
Well, I agree, and ultimately Trump camp dealt with him the right way. Call him and say, "Look, we will be good." I know what he wanted to do, and he got the same result, but he got there a little bit of the hard way. Speaking of the hard way, hold on one second. It's actually there's nothing hard about this except
21-year-olds go. That's not the 21-year-old that do a lot dumber stuff. Let's put it that way.
Not likely a 4D chess move, but he did put the second back in Trump's radar. Just saying, so he failed forward at a minimum. Agreed. That's from a Nike 7. Grandpa's Place says, so if I donate, you're required to follow my instructions here. Spend my money. Sadwings Raging says
the people that he's working with need to quit putting pressure on him to endorse their version of the world. The person I'm talking about knows who I'm talking about. And I think he put pressure. I don't have personal information on this. I represented Kyle all the way through that process in the court of public opinion. Glad to do so. Did so pro bono. So there's no inside information here. But it's just reading the tea leaves from afar. There's people that have it. There was a prior person that was obsessed with controlling Kyle. And I think there's some people in Kyle's world that are also obsessed with controlling Kyle. They don't have to endorse your view either. Now, this person was very good at helping financially in other ways Kyle during key times of his defense. So I get it. But that doesn't entitle him to push his anti-Trump obsessive agenda. And I think he put too much pressure, just reading it from afar, on Kyle to make public statements that agreed with his perspective, which I find loony. He's a great Second Amendment advocate, but his Trump hatred is insane. It's literally clinical.
I don't think I know who you're talking about, but I'll ask you after the show. Oh, crap. Hold on. Oh, and I was going to say, it's a tough thing, especially for a young kid who might not have
by the way,
proper.
That guy, if people were upset about Kyle's view, he deserved the criticism, not Kyle. Because, by the way, it was his account that shared the video, right? It wasn't Kyle's account that shared the video. It was his account that shared Kyle's video. So it's like, quit using your position Kyle benefits him now more than he benefits Kyle. And maybe he started to realize that, but don't coerce him to have your position on these kind of issues. And you know what? I'll do an open offer. Happy to have him on and debate Trump and the Second Amendment with him, because I agree with some of his criticisms, but they are way over the top. Trump still put on the Supreme Court the votes to restore Second Amendment freedom in the United States constitutionally, in a case we're about to get to.
Yep, and now I do know who you're talking about, because I did ask the question. This video was not.
He's got an unfortunate first name. It's like, you see that first name, you're like, I feel bad for him right away.
I'm going to go back and look, because I don't remember what the name was. I just remember seeing the video, and it wasn't on Kyle's channel, his handle. I was like, oh, that's interesting, but I hadn't thought twice about it. And Kyle and everyone who gets in the public light, the toughest thing is finding out, making friends who are going to be looking out for your best interest and not looking for anything in return. It's a very tough journey to navigate.